If you've ever owned a cat, you've probably experienced this. Your cat walks into the room, looks directly at you, and then lets out a very specific meow. Maybe it's demanding food. Maybe it wants attention. Maybe it simply wants you to open a door. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. Your cat is trying to tell you something. But here's the strange part. Cats rarely use meowing to communicate with other cats. In fact, if you observe feral cats living together, you'll notice something surprising. Most of their communication happens without meows at all. So why do cats constantly meow at humans? And why don't they do the same thing with each other? The answer begins thousands of years ago. Unlike dogs, cats were never fully domesticated in the traditional sense. Around 10,000 years ago, humans began storing grain in early farming settlements. Those grain stores attracted rodents, and the rodents attracted wildcats. The relationship was simple. Cats got an endless buffet of mice, humans got free pest control. Over generations, the friendliest and least fearful cats stayed close to people, and eventually those wildcats became the domestic cats we know today. But something unusual happened during this process. To understand it, we need to look at how cats communicate naturally. Adult cats primarily communicate through body language. They use ear position, tail movement, facial expressions, scent marking, and subtle vocalizations such as hissing, growling, purring, and chirping. Meowing plays only a minor role among adult cats. However, kittens are different. Newborn kittens are helpless. They cannot hunt, they cannot regulate their body temperature very well, and they depend entirely on their mother. To get attention, kittens meow. A hungry kitten meows. A cold kitten meows. A lost kitten meows. The sound acts as a signal that says, "I need something." Mother cats respond immediately. As kittens grow older, something interesting happens. The meowing gradually decreases. Adult cats usually stop using these sounds with one another, but domestic cats never completely outgrow the behavior. It's as if they remain permanently stuck with part of their kitten communication system, and humans became the target. Researchers sometimes describe this as a form of behavioral neoteny. In simple terms, adult cats retain behaviors that are normally associated with juveniles. Your cat may be fully grown, but when it meows at you, it is using a communication strategy originally designed for mothers. In a sense, your cat treats you a little bit like a giant caretaker, but the story gets even stranger. Cats don't just meow, they customize their meows. Studies have found that cats alter the pitch, length, and tone of their vocalizations depending on the human they're interacting with. Some cats develop completely unique sounds that their owners learn to recognize. One cat may have a special meow for food, another for being let outside, another for attention. Over time, humans become surprisingly good at decoding these signals, and cats become surprisingly good at manipulating us. In one famous study, researchers discovered something called the solicitation purr. Normally, purring is a soothing sound, but when cats want something, they can hide a high-frequency cry within the purr. The result sounds subtle, yet humans find it much harder to ignore. Without realizing it, cats may be exploiting the same psychological mechanisms that make us respond to a crying baby. In other words, your cat might be using evolutionary hacks to control your behavior. And judging by how quickly most cat owners respond, it works. But why didn't cats evolve this behavior with other cats? Because other cats don't need it. Cats possess an entire communication system based on scent, posture, and visual signals. A cat can learn an enormous amount simply by smelling another cat's scent markings. To a cat, scent can communicate identity, territory, reproductive status, and emotional state. Humans, however, are terrible at interpreting those signals. We can't smell what cats smell. We don't notice many of their subtle body cues. So cats needed a communication channel that worked on us. And sound turned out to be the perfect solution. Over thousands of years of living alongside humans, cats effectively trained us, and we trained them. The result is one of the most unusual communication systems in the animal kingdom, a language that exists primarily between two different species. So the next time your cat meows at you, remember, it isn't talking like a cat. It's talking like a cat that has spent thousands of years learning how to communicate with humans. And the amazing part is that somehow we learn to listen.